Hello and welcome back to another great episode of hashtag Screw the W2. And I actually have a returning guest, Aundrea Newburn, who, if you missed out on the previous one on the Wealth and Freedom Nexus podcast, was on episode number 36, where she gave us a little kind of behind the scenes look of get rich education, if you will. But now she joins us to kind of share her story from going from a W2 to an independent contractor. Aundrea, welcome back.
Thank you for having me back. Enjoy it every time I'm here.
You bet. So now maybe you can kind of first take us back to I don't know the corporate lifestyle if you want to call it, or what was your previous W2 job, or what was like a was there a normal day, so to speak?
Yeah, so I don't remember if I shared this with you last time, but I graduated college when the market crashed in
Ah,
'08. So it was very good timing.
of
And
course.
yeah, I couldn't find a job. So I took a job for $10 an hour at the time, processing foreclosures for a law firm. That was my big job and what I went to 4 years of college for.
Oh wow.
Yeah. And so I took that job and I kind of worked up the ladder pretty quickly at that company. And then I quit and went and did my MBA in the UK.
Oh really?
Yeah. So I lived over there doing my MBA for a couple years. And then I came back, and that's when I really got into corporate America. I went back into
Okay.
the mortgage industry. Um, and I worked in like compliance, risk management, audit roles for like the next 8, 9 years. And there was no typical day. It was always crazy. I did move up kind of to middle management slash executive management while I was doing that. And it was just chaos the whole time. And so I woke up one day, I think this was back in 2016. I literally woke up and I was like, I cannot do this for the rest of my life. I was miserable. So that was
Yeah.
kind of like my moment, is just I woke up and I was like, I don't want to do this. And so I started researching every way possible I could make the most money the fastest with the
Mhm.
least amount of risk. I'm sure you've been through that
Oh
process too.
yeah.
And so I ended up landing on real estate. So I had been doing your traditional investing in my 401k for a very long time. I wasn't doing really anything outside of that. I had never even looked up alternative type investments.
Okay.
And so I said, okay, I'm going to get some real estate. And I bought real estate like that next month. I
Okay.
bought my first house. I was living in a home that I owned, but I bought a condo in Midtown Atlanta, which is where I was living at the time. And it was nice right on the park. And I said, I'm going to short term rent this house.
Okay.
So I live here for a couple of months, and then I'm moving and I'm going to short term rent it. And that went very poorly. I did not check the covenants. I didn't know better at the time, and I wasn't allowed to do that. So,
Yep.
yeah. So, went down that route, switched it to a long term rental, furnished rental, and it went really well.
Okay.
And from there, I was buying like 5 and 6 properties a year. So, I just went crazy.
Wow.
So it took me a few years just to get to the point where I was comfortable enough to pull the plug on the W2. But I remember that moment very vividly. I was just like, I'm not going to do it. So
Yeah.
yeah.
So, all right. And then obviously you mentioned, got into real estate, did about 5, 6 properties a year. Do you remember, or was there a specific day you remember, this day was my last day of the W2 job, or did you just tell your boss deuces, I'm gone, or how'd that go?
Yeah. So I was always one that was, I didn't never wanted to burn bridges or anything like that. So I went the proper routes to
Sure.
yeah, to leave my job at the time. So no, I planned it strategically. It was not one of those, just fly by night type things, and made sure I was in a good position to do that.
Cool. All right. So, and then so this was 2016, you had your I got to get out of here moment. Basically, how long did it take from there to, when you had your last W2 paycheck?
Five 5 years total.
Okay. So 2021, give or take. So, okay. So,
Yeah.
all right. And then I'm kind of jumping ahead here a little bit, but since you did this, you had that moment, and then you're strategic buying, 5, 6 properties a year. Looking back, is there anything you do miss from your W2 job or from the environment, or
Not a single thing.
okay,
I had a lot of good friends and people that became friends over time, and
sure.
maybe some of that camaraderie, but absolutely nothing else.
Okay. Yeah. That seems to be kind of a recurring theme lately with guests, and like not a single thing, or it's like, well, I do miss, the people, or I don't know. Sometimes it's, the health insurance or whatever the case may be. So,
Well, I'm happy to pay the premium for that. I don't
yeah.
even.
So, all right. So then, obviously, became a real estate investor. For those that don't know your background, you kind of have a number of side hustles, I guess, for lack of a better term. So you're a business owner. You are help Keith with Get Rich Education. You have I think I might be using the wrong terminology, but like a crime scene
Yeah,
abatement company of
yeah,
some sort. So,
you're right. Yeah, so I do real estate sales. I live
okay,
in Michigan part of the year and I live in Georgia part of the year.
okay,
And I have a real estate sales business down in Georgia. We sell vacation rental homes and rentals. We only work with investors. Uh,
okay.
so that's one. And then you mentioned the crime scene cleanup company. We're actually a full restoration company, but we're kind of
Ah,
for the crime scene cleanup. Uh,
okay.
and then I run my real estate investments and I have a short-term rental property management company.
Oh
So
wow. So is that in Georgia as well, or is that in another market? Or okay.
yeah, it's in Georgia.
Oh, very cool. So, all right. So, you obviously mentioned you haven't really had any regrets, leaving the W-2. You've obviously have multiple streams of income. It isn't just property, isn't just your business, etc. But for anyone out there that is maybe in your position that you were in 2016, I can't do this for the rest of my life, but they just, feel stuck for lack of a better term, what would be your advice to them?
So, of all the people I talk to that are wanting to get out of their W-2 jobs, I feel like the same theme kind of comes up of they don't take action fast enough
Hmm.
and they analyze it over and over and over what they're doing, right? And we all probably deal with that in some shape, form, or fashion. But the advice I would have is start planning, understanding what you can do to replace your income, how you can do that the quickest but the safest. And do
Okay.
not wait another year or two. You wait another year or two and you've lost so much time.
Yeah. Yeah, money we can always earn, but time we can't get back. So that's
That's
the
right.
probably the biggest thing. So, all
Yeah.
right. So, well, as in closing here, Andrea, I kind of call this the soapbox moment. I might come up with a little bit better marketing team, but as far as we're rounding out 2022, going into 2023, any new projects you're working on, or anything you'd like to share with the listeners, or anything you're excited about with 2023 coming around the corner?
Yeah, as we've seen the market in real estate start changing just slightly, not as much as I'd like, but slightly over the past few months, I'm starting to kind of change my tactics and I'm looking more at potential foreclosures,
Mm,
distressed properties. So I've partnered with a couple of folks and we're going to be doing some fix and flips,
okay.
some renovations. I'm very excited about that.
Okay.
And then really that's what my 2023, it's going to be crime scene cleanup and real estate the whole year.
Okay. So, and I just have to ask, how did that, was there a day that, I think I'm going to have a crime scene cleanup business, or how did that come about?
Yeah, so there's a mastermind that I'm part of, and I
Okay.
happened to run into the CEO. So this is a franchise we bought into, and
Okay. Gotcha.
I happened to run into the CEO. She's in the same mastermind, and she was telling me about it. And she was telling me, their number one revenue stream is real estate, which seems odd for a crime scene cleanup
Huh.
company. But she gets a lot of her deals because people don't want to keep these houses when they've lost a loved one or family.
Oh,
And so I got into it that way. I was looking for something that was recession, not, I don't want to say proof, but resilient
sure.
and could get me more real estate. So that's what I'm.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah. And I know around here, and I can't speak for every state, but in Minnesota, you have to disclose if a crime occurred, but not if someone passed away. But then some cultures actually, if they know someone passed away in the home, they feel it should stay in the family. They don't even want to look at the property. So that's, yeah, it's really
I didn't know
interesting.
that.
Yeah, I actually had that happen. I had a listing last year, and I mean, natural causes. The guy passed away of a heart attack. Nothing, no murder or anything like that. But
Yeah.
there was a number of people in the Hmong culture that were actually interested in looking at. But then as soon as they found out about it, it's like my showings went from like 6 to 1, and it was
Yeah.
like really interesting. But yeah, if someone passes away, I don't know the background of it, but they feel that the spirit never leaves the home and it should stay within the family or with a family member or something like that. So, but
That's so interesting. I
yeah,
haven't heard of that yet.
yeah, I didn't realize that either until last year. So, but everything, teach their own, I guess. So,
Yeah, absolutely.
all right. Well, again, I appreciate your time, Andrea, for coming on the show. If anyone wants to reach out, and maybe if you want to do a plug for Get Rich Education, what's the best way to reach out?
Yeah, that would be great. So if you want to get in touch with me directly, you can get in touch with me at Get Rich Education. So it's Aundrea at getricheducation.com. And my name is spelled a little bit differently. It's Aundrea.
Ah,
I'm also on Bigger Pockets and all social media as well. So you could find me there. If you're interested in real estate investing too, if you want to go out to Get Rich Education's website, we actually have a free course there for you on real
hmm,
estate. So getricheducation.com/free course. And you can find out all about real estate investing there.
sounds good. All right. And then if you're interested in buying into a crime scene franchise cleanup, also reach out to Andrea and
That's great.
as another way to possibly say screw the W-2. So, all right.
Absolutely.
Well, thanks again, Andrea, and hope to speak to you soon.
Thank you, John.